What are your political views? What are your top 5 favorite movies of all time? If you could unknow one thing, what would it be? What's your number one way of achieving mental clarity? Here we go. This damn wine, okay? But it's damn good. There were friends that didn't even know, that I had experienced racial injustice in my life. They were like, you, Danny? How do you feel about men with nail polish? If you could know the answer to any question you had, what would you want to know? Okay, hold on. Hold on. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Danny Sylvan Vlog. As you can see from the title of this video, y'all had questions and I got answers. Okay, I've got the answers for you because that's right, it is a good old-fashioned getting to know you Q&A. I asked you all to send me questions, submit them to me on Instagram and in the comments below on the previous video. Things that you wanted to know about me, things that you wanted to know in any area of my life, career, socially, anything. I was an open book, which I don't always do, okay? But I was like, this will be a fun, cool, and engaging way to get to know you guys and for y'all to get to know me. I have my wine, okay? Because some of y'all were reckless. Let's just put it on the table. Some of y'all were real disrespectful. I'm actually kidding. You guys were pretty respectful, actually, in the questions that you asked. No one got buck wild or crazy. And I respect that. I respect that. So cheers to that. But without further ado, let's get into this video, y'all, because I know you want the tea, all right? Let's do it. Alright, y'all, so the way that this is gonna work is there are the questions that you all sent me, and I also pulled a few questions off of the internet from just usual general getting to know somebody questions, and I'll be answering all of these in no particular order, pretty much in the order that they were sent to me. Let's start this thing off. I need a sip first. Cheers, y'all. Okay, question number 1. What is your dream job? Great question. Thank you for asking. This question is really interesting because, as a lot of you know, I do have a vision board. So on my vision board pretty much is the dream lifestyle that I would love to live, and including in that is the dream job that I want to have, which isn't really one set particular job. It's just basically a job within the arts, jobs in authoritative positions, decision makers kind of job, and the creatives. So director, producer, actor, writer, those are kind of what I'm working to, all of them. And the reason why this question's interesting is because I feel like I'm working towards my dream job. So my dream job is not something that's like super far off from what I'm already working towards. It's not like my dream job is like in a completely different field and oh, I would have loved to do that, but I'm doing something lame over here. No, that's not the case at all. I'm working towards my dream job. So as long as it's in the creative arts, as long as it's in the performing arts, and it's an administrative role, it's a role that's kind of, like I said, the decision maker, and my passions in the arts is directing, producing, acting, and writing. I'd say that's the dream, and I'm working towards it. So thank you for sending that in. Next, we've got, what are your top 5 favorite movies of all time? Okay, this one's hard. This one's hard. I'm a very indecisive. Is that wine hitting me already? I'm a very indecisive Gemini, so it's hard for me to choose these kinds of things, but In no particular order, I would say Back to the Future 2, not 1 and not 3. Inception, Dreamgirls, Rush Hour, 1 and 2, is that okay? That's like number 4. 1 and 2 is the 4th. And, the Toy Story series. So, particularly the 3rd one, but I love the whole series. That's kind of a cop-out. That's like altogether probably 10. But I would say that's my top 5. That was hard, man. That was really hard. What's your number 1 way of achieving mental clarity? For example, do you meditate, pray, work out, journal, talk with friends, etc.? That's a great question. I like the examples that you gave there. I'll probably work with those. I would say, okay, when I was younger, I did used to journal quite a lot. I filled out pretty much 2 full books of journals, and I was doing it from a pretty young age, like 8, 9, up until I would say maybe 14, 15. So yeah, journaling is something that got me through, I guess, my younger years. But now I would say more so I do turn to prayer quite a bit. Like I've said it in past videos, you know, I'm a believer of Christ, so I do pray to God, and that definitely helps me through and gives me a little bit of guidance towards what I want to achieve and how to, you know, keep my mental in check, I would say. Oh, talking with friends as well as yeah, talking with friends. My brother I'm really close with, so talking with him sometimes if I'm frustrated about something or just need some mental clarity on something, then I'll turn to him. But of course I also do have friends. And now that we're on this topic, if you have a group of friends, you don't have to turn to the one friend for every single problem that you have. I think it's important that you kind of analyze where friends' strengths are as far as emotional support. If you need a friend to kind of like boost you up because you're really down, maybe that's one particular person. But then if you need someone to call you out on your BS, that can be another person. And if you need a friend who will kind of tell you straight how it is, you know, no filter, and try to get you clear on a certain situation that might be a little foggy, then you can turn to them. That's kind of how I am. Like, I know which friends I need in which moments and which ones I don't in others, you know. So, like, even with, ooh, here we go. Here we go. This damn wine, okay? But it's damn good. Like I was saying, for an example, you know, last year in 2020, with all the injustices that were happening against Black people, with the Black Lives Matter movement, you know, George Floyd, all of that, I'm not gonna turn to like my white friend who lives in this small ass town and probably won't be able to help me through some of the feelings that I'm feeling. And that's no disrespect or no shade, but that's just me saying, like, I know, although I love that friend and appreciate that friend and respect that friend, they're probably not the person that I should be turning to for emotional support at this time, because they probably don't even, there were friends that didn't even know, you know, that I had experienced racial injustice in my life. They were like, "You, Danny?" And I'm like, "What?" Yeah, like, what are you talking about? So yeah, someone who is also Black like me and who has maybe a little bit of emotional intelligence in that area and can help me work through some of the things that I was going through emotionally last year, that's who I'm gonna turn to. So just know which friends to pick for other things, because now I'm going on a tangent. Because there's some friends where it's like, let's say you go to them for girl advice or like guy trouble or whatever. They might be really bitter off of like a past relationship that they haven't healed from. So you turning to them and being like,
"My boyfriend, I love him, but like he did this and it just really sucks."
They're gonna be like, "Yeah, dump him. Like he ain't like let him go." And it's like, hold on. That might not necessarily be the case. Like, you're still hurt, clearly, of what your situation was, but don't project that onto her. Like, what are you doing? So anyway, just know which friends to choose to talk to and which ones not. The last thing I'll say about this is I also like low-key just talk to myself. Not literally, but also sometimes literally out loud. I can't believe I'm saying this, but we're gonna be transparent. Yeah, if I'm dealing with a situation, I know sometimes I get really in my head about it, so I get out of my head and actually verbalize it. Like, I'll talk through what the situation is and how to best deal with it, like, out loud, and then usually it registers back to my brain like, okay, this is very clear what you need to do now because you've said it instead of thinking it. So if anyone's doing that and they're like, I'm crazy, I should probably stop, don't, because it helps me, so it might help you. What are your political views? LOL, just kidding. What are your favorite clothing brands or favorite clothing trends lately? Very good question. Thank you for the question. Okay, so as far as clothing brands, I enjoy, you know, H&M, Fashion Nova Men, Forever 21, Banana Republic. Gap has a few things every now and then that are decent. Their outerwear is actually pretty nice. Jack and Jones and like Nike. Sometimes Adidas has some pretty nice things too. So yeah, speaking of which, that leads me into trends. A trend that I really, really love, and it's not really new or anything, but it's still trendy, is athleisure. So leisure wear with athletic wear mixed together, and I really, really like it. I wear it all the time because it's fashionable but also comfortable. Another trend that I really enjoy that is coming back is fleece. I have like 2 or 3 fleece garments right now, so yeah. If you could unknow one thing, what would it be? So I kind of glimpsed this question while I was like taking screenshots of all the questions that were coming in. And I was like, what would it be? Like, what? And honestly, I don't have an answer to that question, and I hope this doesn't sound like a cop-out, but I believe that everything happens for a reason. And if there was information that was given to me and I know it as a fact, you know, I know it to be true, I'm not necessarily going to want to unknow it because I probably needed to know it for a reason. So there's nothing that I've ever been told, exposed to, you know, whatever, that I'm like, oh, I really wish that like I could unlearn that, or I wish that I could unknow that, or anything like that. It just, I don't see anything that I would want to unknow. Yeah. If you could know the answer to any question you had, what would you want to know? Okay, hold on. Hold on. That's a really good question, and I instantly have an answer, but I'm gonna need to drink this first, so. Okay, so let me just go back to the question exactly. If you can know the answer to any question you had, what would you want to know? Okay, so this one is actually based around a crush that I had, someone I was really feeling, you know, and for years, like legitimately years. I'm over it now, so no need to cry for me. But I think the #1 question that I would want to know is, did this person like me back? Actually no, because I know they liked me back. But I guess it would maybe be, why didn't you like pick up on the signals that I was giving, and when I would pretty much basically blatantly like ask you out, like why weren't you giving that energy back? Because again, like, it was very obvious that there was a mutual like, very obvious, alarmingly obvious, but it just never panned out. So I guess my question would be, why? That's a really good question, y'all. Thank you for whoever sent that, because That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. Okay. Coffee or tea? Okay, so short answer, tea. But my relationship with coffee is very on and off. It's very rocky. It's an inconsistent connection because I think I first had coffee when I was like 16, and then like that whole year where I was 16, obsessed with coffee. But then when 17, 18 came, didn't really care for coffee. But then when I got into university years, like 19, 20, 21, like coffee was my best friend. But then after that was done, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, I don't really love coffee. So it's been rocky. But what has been consistent is tea. So tea. How do you stay positive during stressful times? Great. Okay, we done? You good? Like, so again, the question is, how do you stay positive during stressful times? Okay, great question. So when I'm stressed and I need positivity to keep myself going, I usually have to think of the various things in my life that I'm grateful for and use that as a driving force to get through that stressful moment. So some can consider this pandemic to be stressful. And what I have to do is just remind myself that I have a roof over my head, and not everybody going through this global pandemic has that. I have food on the table. Not everybody going through this has that. I have clothes to wear. I can keep my hygiene up during this time. Like, there's a lot of things to be grateful for right now. And once you start to focus on that, the petty things that you kind of stress about, the first world problems, kind of just go away. You know, they don't take precedence or priority in your life. So I try to do that to stay positive during stressful times. How do you feel about men with nail polish? A very interesting question. I personally don't really have any feelings towards it. I mean, I think that we all are entitled to using our body as a canvas to emote or a canvas to express ourselves. So if something like putting nail polish on, whatever gender you are, makes you feel like you're expressing yourself in a certain way, then good for you. I'm all for it. I really don't have a strong opinion, I guess, on it. If you want to put nail polish on, you can put nail polish on. Just know that if it's a really nice shade, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna compliment you. So just be aware of that. Would you rather own a skincare line or a fashion line? I think I'm gonna go with fashion, only because I personally have more knowledge and experience in the world of fashion than I do have knowledge and experience in the world of skincare. Skincare is something that I'm passionate about and I'm forever learning more about. But fashion, I've been in that, I guess, industry, specifically in retail of that industry for many years. So I have a bit more of a handle on that. And if I had to, own a line of one or the other, I would definitely want to own a fashion line. And I love the creative aspect of I love graphic design. So if I got to design something and put it on different garments, you know, and now I've created that and that's a part of my line, that would be fantastic. So yeah, I think fashion for sure. Excuse me. Your favorite childhood memory? Okay, so I feel like there's a lot. That second line just hit me. Wow, okay. Okay, favorite childhood memory? I think I'm gonna go with the camping trips that I would take with my family probably every year from the age of like 6 to maybe 12, 13. I think from like 6 to 12 it was consistent, and then every year after that it just kind of determined on what we were doing as a family, but we pretty much went every year from, I would say, yeah, like 6 to 12. And those memories were really fun. It was usually me and my brother. Sometimes we bring other family members up there, or if we had people, whether it's friends or family visiting from out of town, then they would come up with us. It was always fun. I had a dog growing up, so we would bring him sometimes too. Pretty much, I think every time. Yeah, I guess it would have been every time that we went up. What did we do with Bingo? No, because it wasn't every time. Oh, we would give him to like a family friend who really bonded with him for whatever weekend we were going up to camp. But yeah, I would say the family camping trips for sure were probably my favorite childhood memory. It was always a great time, just like having my dad do the barbecue and my mom fix things up, and you know, it was fun. It was fun times. We'd go for like walks by the lake. It was nice. So yeah. Do you act and sing? Yes, I do. I act and sing. Definitely act more so than sing in the last like 5 years, but I have the ability to sing as well. I always say that I am not a singer, but I am somebody who can sing. If that makes any sense. Like, I by no means would put myself at like singer status, but I'm definitely somebody who can like hold a note and it sounds half decent. Like, yeah, so yeah. What's your go-to karaoke song? You know what? Okay, if I'm with my friend Amanda, then we usually sing like a duet from a High School Musical movie or something like that. But I find that I always get a really interesting reaction when I sing Russian Roulette by Rihanna. It's always hilarious to see at like a pub night, karaoke night, where I sing that and it's like everyone else is singing these like great vibes, like Don't Stop Believing and like all this stuff, and I'm just like, Russian Roulette, like they're like, oh, this night took a turn. It's pretty funny. So yeah, I would say that. Top 5 music genres. Okay, so like pop, top 40s is one. R&B, rhythm and blues is second. Hip hop is third. Neo soul is fourth. And then jazz, I guess, would be jazz. Yeah, I guess jazz would be fifth. What's a pet peeve of yours? Okay, so people who sit beside you, in front of you, or behind you on a bus that is full of empty chairs. What are you doing? Do you have a collection of anything? Favorite travel destination? LA was fun, but I wasn't legal when I was in LA, so I didn't really get to like turn up. When was your first kiss and who was it? I blame you. Favorite age so far in life? I love this question. What's the worst job you ever had? Of course, I knew this question was gonna come up. Are you single? I need to ease up on my wine. Well, might as well.